I don't wanna play no games. No, I don't wanna play no games. No, I don't wanna hear your promises. You do you and I'll do me. That's just the way it is.
Boom.
Oh, beard needs a trim, doesn't it? Biddly, 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 but yes, yeah. Here we go. Straight in here with Matt Leeds. I'm calm now, but want at least 2 more players in before Scum. I think 2 before the 19th is, I mean, they come thick and fast, don't they? But, I'm not sure about how many we'll get in before then. Our signings will come, says Michael Keithley. I agree. You only have loans and free agents. Yes, BMG. Yo, Jack, don't you dare go away again and take Angry Mad Gav with you without telling us first. I did say, didn't I? I planned on doing a few videos while I was there, but I got far too stuck in. I was enjoying myself. Yes, Oliver, I'm glad to be back. First time I've been on the stream before you. Yes, indeed. I'm 2 minutes late, which normally the clock watchers will be absolutely letting me know. Yes, Ina, how's it going? Hey up, you lettuce. Hey up, big lad. What you doing? Biddly, 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 but yes, yeah. Here we go. Ain't nobody down round here. Get that badger in and on and over here. We had to move back to get his greatness in. Video's gone well today, boys. So shout out to everybody that's tuned into that already. I know, Oliver, I didn't do them. I got there and it was all popping off on it and it was mental. There was so much going on. So hard to keep up with. There's so many lads doing it, like just banging on the drum about stuff. So I thought, just stay out of the way for a week and just actually enjoy myself. I kept meaning to, and I thought, well, I'm home in 3 days. I'm home in 2 days. I'm home tomorrow. And I just thought, I'll just smash it out when I get home. So I'll be battering it for the duration now until I go away again, probably. But YFIAOA says, I'm starting to get antsy about our transfer business, to be honest. I'm still not in a state of panic, but I probably won't be. I get loads of shit for it, but I won't be. I think the panic comes from like teams like Sunderland and stuff that, if everybody's a legend that they're getting business done just because they're throwing plenty of money around. And we've sort of been like looking in the same spaces for the players. But I think that's a good thing in some sense that, I've said before 100 times, all these players are all in the same bucket of players that everybody's searching for. So, they all top out at all the peak performances is all, all the data and all this stuff all goes one way all the time with the same players. So they're all after the same players. Sunderland obviously know who they can attract, who they can't attract. Leeds the same. Ultimately, it don't look like 49ers will be pushed around. I don't want to get too bogged down in how much money we're actually spending, because I'd rather have a good window than an expensive window. But I think when we're talking about 12 million for Longstaff and stuff, I just don't understand why, people are saying we're in pretty bad PSR problems and stuff, but I'm not so sure about that either. But yeah. Can you please have a complete meltdown about Longstaff? Seems to be the trend. Well, if Longstaff didn't push me over edge, then I don't think anything will it? Because Longstaff's I've been banging on about Longstaff like there's no tomorrow for a few years. So we got Harry Donner, so we're all good. Pillow feet. Funny 8:30. Yeah, I know. Well, prompt, primed, and early's the new late in it, 78 RPM. So watching Joe, I expect tardiness from my content creators, not early. I'm normally late, so I thought I'd get on an hour before. I've got a chicken dinner planned while there's still a bit of sun, and then I'm going to get in hot tub before I'm back to work fully fledged tomorrow. So forever again. Friday day, Friday night, Saturday day, Saturday night, Sunday off, thank God. So, but I'm going to try and keep the videos up. Well, I will be keeping the videos up. I'm just back from Lisbon too. Was an amazing place to go. Recommend. Nice. Very nice indeed. Bumped into a couple of Leeds fans over in Torremolinos and in the place called Ben Menadina or something that's near it, which we go to every night because it's well nice. and they had the Leeds shirts on, so got a few reactions. So it's good stuff seeing Leeds shirt out and about in it. John Pepper says, Matt, we don't want Harrison get rid. I'm coming around to the fact that he's probably going to be playing for us next year. I don't think it matters either way now at this point. I think it's a pretty easy signing at that point. The only Premier League player that was left from the 2 seasons ago when we was in the Premier League, he's been in the Premier League ever since. Whether you like his stats or whatever's relatively irrelevant. We are coming up out of the Championship. We need as many Premier League type footballers as we can get his hands on, and he is one of them. You could argue, Solomon was at a better standard, obviously, with Tottenham, but he was struggling to get in the side, injury prone as well, stuff like that. But you could argue that Harrison didn't need to drop down into the Championship in order to get the Premier League move. There's still some talks that Moyes wants him. So I think there's still a chance that he goes away, he goes out on... Well, we'd have to sell him at this point. It's getting ridiculous, isn't it? But I've spoke about this in my video today, but Geldart and Greenwood, back in pre-season training again, is a bit mental to me at this point. It's like, how long can this go on for, where they keep coming back for the pre-season just for themselves? Where they just think, I know I'm just here to get fit, and, the Leeds United pre-season training will probably be a far better standard from where they're potentially going to end up. We are a Premier League club now. It even says on Google, we are in the Premier League, 11th in the Premier League. So, but it must be weird for them. I'm sure they're very professional about it, and all the players sort of know that they're going to get moved on. But it must be a little bit frustrating just thinking, well, I'm just there to get fit. I can't really impress the manager, because you've got to at some point agree that Geldart, Greenwood, Giabi aren't going to get in the side, are they? So it's not like Byram, who's at the end of his career and signs an extra year and he's just going to be a mint lad round place, as Roy Keane would say, as they do card tricks. But it's interesting dynamic, isn't it? Because they are training with the first team. So I don't know, it's weird. Ain't nobody down round here, says Ming. Yeet up. I went to Torremolinos in Spain. I would strongly recommend it. It's well nice. It's a lovely place. Wouldn't it be exceptional if Giabi has transformed into Premier Sartori over the break? I suppose there's an element where you don't know whether or not they have come on leaps and bounds, so it's worth having a look at them. But I think with Geldart and Greenwood, I don't think there's any doubt that they haven't, and I've been a defender of Joffrey for quite some time, in fairness, on the basis that I actually think he did bits for us and I've said before, but his level of skill and stuff and the things that he can do individually on the pitch, there's not, sometimes I've literally been like, nobody else on the pitch could have done that in that moment. He's quite creative, like he's got great feet, but obviously it doesn't always transfer into the wider game, does it? It's all right having a decent touch, and I'm not about Geldart now, he's got more than a decent touch, obviously all very good players, but having a decent touch, being able to do a couple of kick-ups, but, the game 11 aside is very different from, being able to hit crossbar from 18 yards, even 9 times out of 10. It's like, obviously, you'd be in a pretty good spot if you can do that, but if you can't move, then there's not a great deal of point, is there? But evening, Jack, says Richard Todd, good to see you, sir. Now the 49ers tried to do things on the cheap. I've been on holiday. No, I don't think they are. We've spoke about this before. I just don't think they're willing to be bullied in the transfer market. I really, honestly don't think that Sunderland are going to outdo us. I'm not worried about them either, because if they do outdo us, we're fucked anyway, aren't we? So we're not in competition with Sunderland. I keep saying this, but I really mean it. Sunderland and Burnley have come up with us, granted, but we have proven we are better than them. And Burnley got the same amount of points, fair enough, but we have more of a chance of staying up than Burnley. It's not, they'll either be cannon fodder or they'll be decent, and we'll just have to make sure that it's just important for us not to be cannon fodder. I don't care about what they do. Sunderland, for instance, have a massive gap that they have to clear up before they get anywhere near us anyway. So, it's going to be competitive down bottom end, isn't it? But we're hopefully not going to be battling it out in the deep dark depths of the relegation And I don't want to think about it right now anyway. That time may very well come, and then we will all address it. Then you'll all come back to this moment like, I fucking said we'd get relegated. It's like, well, we're probably odds on, one of the favourites to go straight back down as it is. Shit is as shit does. That's Premier League football at the moment, isn't it? They come back straight back down, but I'm not bothered about what Sunderland, just because allegedly they've nicked a couple of players off. That's why it frustrated me a bit with Longstaff, because obviously there's been all the Diarra stuff and all floating around that they're getting the players that we wanted. And I thought, well, Longstaff's a right touch, and he just comes straight into the side. I can't believe how many people think that he's like the rotation centre mid. I mean, I think they'll get rotated because I think Tanaka and Ampadu will be more than sufficing centre mid. I think that's a really good partnership. But I think Longstaff will be worth his weight in gold if we could get him. That's why I just think if we're going to spend a bit of money, is 20 million for Longstaff really ludicrous? And there's got to be a reason why Newcastle are holding out. If he is open to the move, I got some shit today for saying that McAtee. Well, they want 25 million for McAtee, and everybody's saying, "Oh, he's leagues apart from Longstaff." But where are we getting that from? I'm sure he's a far better footballer, McAtee. I don't buy into it. I want some men in the side. I'm not saying McAtee isn't, but he's played about 18 games for Man City in his whole career. Did he go to Sheffield before on loan? He were poor. Granted, Sheffield were really poor, but we're going to be. Everybody's saying we're going to be poor. Everybody's saying we're going to be 17th. So if we're going to be 17th, then we're going to be poor. So why is McAtee going to be decent? At least you know exactly what you're getting from Longstaff, and it's hard working, break the play up, good on ball, can actually nick a goal, gets big game goals as well. I remember a couple of semi-finals him getting goals. Obviously, whether or not we're going to be aiming for semi-finals, but he's going to want to come and prolong his career. Also, he's not off down to Championship, so he's not coming to this club to think, oh, see what happens. McAtee's got a long way to find himself, and then everybody bangs on about. I'd take McAtee, by the way. I got pelters today for saying similar stuff. Try to suggest that I'm saying I wouldn't take McAtee. I think it'd be a mint signing. It's well exciting, but Longstaff's also really exciting because I know exactly what type of a player Longstaff is, and he's exactly who you want to be in centre midfield in Premier League. Because when the going gets tough, he won't get going. All the tough gets going or whatever it is. But he will be in for the fight as well. And then when we need to play, he'll play. And he's fourth or fifth best choice, allegedly. Well, not allegedly, he is at Newcastle because they're exceptional in centre midfield. And they are now a Champions League. They've been 2 years on bounce, which he got them to that point as well 2 years ago, 2 years prior. Bruno's amazing. That Guimaraes guy is mint. It's the same person. But just, his name's not Bruno, and I'm not fond of calling footballers by the first name. It's very rare. I think it's a bit weird. Tonali, who's mint. And then Joe Linton, who's an absolute monster. Who, that's what I'm talking about. Are you telling me Joe Linton is, I don't know, does McAtee have more footballing ability than Joe Linton? Yeah, I'd say he would do, yeah. But, in a midfield three, I want Joe Linton in there over McAtee. I do right now, right here, right now. I'd take Joe Linton all day long. He's a big monster. You can't get past him. You can't get the ball off him. He'll hold the ball. He can move the ball. He can nick a goal. He wasn't the best centre forward ever, but Eddie, I nearly said Eddie Hearn then. Eddie House transformed him into this, beast of a centre midfielder that Longstaff, that is his profession. So, yeah. I think for an extra 5 million, and as I say, I don't like talking about money because it's not my money, and I think it's all woof. Like that's what I was saying today on my video. Like, I'll go to 13 million and I will not spend a penny more than that. Like, what? So you wouldn't do 13 million and a penny then, or 13 million and a pound? And why wouldn't you do that? I just want Longstaff. I like the idea of it. Anyway, Arse Ripper. Welcome back, Yak Lad. Evening all. Yes, Arse Ripper, good to see you, sir. BMG, of all our fringe players, Giabi is the one I'd not sell yet. Fair dues. As I say, prehistorically, that would be Geldart for me, but it's too far gone now on it, unfortunately. So there ain't no coming back. And there's too many managers that seen him, and I'd be being inconsistent And I think it's getting it's past that now. You know, we're out of Championship, but being consistent of me to not suggest that, you know, he's been through many managers, because I used to say that about Cooper when I got pellets about Cooper. And I'd say, well, he's had many managers and they've all picked him. And then Farke came in and Farke had some replacements for him and he got replaced and he got moved on. That's how football should work. But we're doing it again with these new signings. And that's why we're in panic button a little bit, or some people are, because they're talking about Nemecha coming in and what he can bring to the centre. It's like, he's not coming in as the starter, is he? We don't necessarily need the starter. We need to bolster the squad as well. And when a good top player comes through, he comes through and he comes in straight into the side, doesn't he? Start like Longstaff, who I do honestly believe is just like Premier League sorted. You know, Goodmanson's good, Beale's good. But do we know that they're absolute Premier League ready? No, we don't, I'm afraid. And I certainly don't. And you don't, on the basis that you can have so much talent and get Rodrigo were playing, you know, out wide for Valencia, top club. I know they were going down pan a bit. Number 9 for Spain, Espanyol. I've just been there, haven't I? Por favor, fucking snooker. That's more French, but snooker's an English word. But, you know, Rodrigo and everybody cuts up clips of Rodrigo like he was a sensation. He was decent in the end, you know, because I don't know, everybody loved his passion, didn't everybody banged on about his passion? It's like, smoke and mirrors, man. You want fucking some big knobhead like Longstaff in there, just dominating play, being horrible to play against, breaking it up, giving the ball straight away. His best attribute is he gets in, gets stuck in, wins the ball, breaks play up a little bit, reads the game really well, and then he gives it to the best players in the squad. It's what you want. If he's playing in there with Tanaka and Tanaka cuts it at the Premier League level, which I think he will, win the ball back, give it to Tanaka, let him look to create. And Longstaff's got more than that, so that's rude of me to say that, but you know what I'm saying. I'll find out when I get to the bottom of these comments anyway. You can't have exactly the right player at the right price at the right time. I think we'll probably get Longstaff, but if not, then we'll get someone decent. 49ers have got it right up to now. I agree with that, BMG. Oliver does. Says a voice of sanity and reason. I still have hope for him. I think that's assuming Garby. Then again, I did for Joffrey. That's what I'm saying, yeah. Then why don't we get Longstaff? Because I think they're holding out themselves and the bartering or whatever, and they're saying, well, who else wants Longstaff? Because I'm surprised there aren't more people coming in for Longstaff for 15, 16 million, if that's what we're talking about. But why would Newcastle be bullied as well? This is the thing. You can't be the bully all the time. Sometimes you've got to go, well, you're also in a really strong position. Because really, you know, as much as they'll have to mess about with PSR at Newcastle and it's 100% profit in it on Longstaff, they can all that. They'll just do it with somebody else. Whether you like it or not, McAtee is the 100% profit for Man City, and they've made a habit of doing this, playing someone 10 times in a season and then getting 30 million, 25 million for them, and then they never go on and do all, do they? So, perfectly put, Matt Lees. Harrison has 170 games in the Prem. You're not shit if you get that many games. That is just a fact. It's a fact. So, again, if he ends up being the 4th winger at the club, what is wrong with that? If you had a player of Harrison's quality, who is the 4th best winger at the club, sitting on bench, what's wrong with that? He's not going to let you down, puts plenty in. Everyone has a flaw, says 78 RPM, mine's Harrison, apparently. Do not worry, sir. It's all good. Thank you very much for being here, Andrew McCoy. I appreciate you. Cragger, Farke, dislike. Don't get it. Where's the loyalty gone in football? Just had the most dominating season in 40 years supporting Leeds. I find it weird. Hope you're well, Jack lad. Hope you're well also, Cragger. I agree, brother. Football has no loyalty anymore whatsoever. I don't think, to be honest, I think that extends a little bit further than football. I think I'm not joking. I think there's very few loyal people, or certainly in the country. I don't want to go as far in the world. Just back from Espanyol, aren't I? So I don't know how loyal they are. May very well be. The senoritas may very well be loyal women. But you know, loyalty in life is hard to come by. Whether it's your mates, your bird, your bit on side, whatever. It's hard to keep stum and not tell all. Not, you know, as soon as you get a little bit of fame, get straight into the Sun newspaper and see if you can bring them down. So I don't think it's just football, but yeah, I agree. Like, you know, you don't even need to be loyal towards Farke. You just have to accept that he got 100 points and got us out of Championship in a pretty rough, you know, couple of years in terms of like steadying the ship. He did an excellent job. So what will be, will be. We'll reassess, won't we? If in 10 games into the season, we haven't won a game, you know, he'll be on chopping board, won't he? And he knows that. But I think he can cement us in the Premier League because I don't really see who are the specialists at that. And why if you just ignore the Norwich thing, and it's not just, oh, you're just ignoring the fact that Norwich was shit. Like, no, this is a different situation. We are going out and getting players and spending money. Norwich literally knew, and Farke had a conversation with them about how they were basically bound to come back down. It was like written in the stars that they were coming back down. They all knew. So, you know, and he says out of loyalty, whether or not that's true or not, you know, and he just thought, well, I'll just have a crack in Prem, you know, why not? Because, you know, like Joe said months ago when we were talking on one of my lives, Farke's only way into the Premier League is through the Championship. So, you know, really, it's not like he'd have left Norwich and then gone to a Premier League side. He'd have left Norwich and gone to a Championship side and tried to get them out of it. But then you're back in the wishing well of the Championship. And even though he's the Championship master, it's a very difficult league to get out of, isn't it? We should all remember that. We should know this by now, that it's extremely difficult to get out of that horrid league, isn't it? So if you don't know by now, you never knew. But I seem to remember a time before Bielsa that was hideous. So, you know, where I didn't even, it was like watching, it was like making your eyes bleed, going to Ellen Road and just being like, oh, it was, you know, awful times. But we're already a little bit ahead of ourselves. And, you know, we're on about going back down and stuff. The 49ers are not going back. They are not here to go back down. They're not here to do it on cheap. They're not willing to risk it. They will want us to stay. Bloody hell. John Pepper says Jack Harrison didn't want to come back to the Championship with Leeds, so why should we have him back? I don't blame him for not wanting to come back. But this is my thing about Jack Harrison. I don't want to. I end up being the Jack Harrison like fanboy, and I'm really not. I thought he was, you know, much to everybody's dismay, the most consistent player for us in the Premier League. You all chew Rodrigo off like there's no tomorrow. He provided so much more than Rodrigo did over the 2 seasons we were there, 3 seasons, whatever it was. I don't blame him. He doesn't. Oh, he was in the Championship with us. He gets his Premier League moved. All the other ones jumped ship. The only difference is that like Aronson got all the shit. Wobber got all the shit. And Wobber never wanted to come back, but he's just literally had no other choice. And you know, you could say the same about Harrison now, but Harrison wouldn't be going to the Championship again. He's done it. He didn't owe us all. He got us out of it. It's not like Wobber. They just didn't like it, wanted first playing out of here. It's not the same. Harrison actually did something for the club. He was part of the promotion team under Bielsa. He was part of staying up when we had that excellent year, and his stats were excellent. He's you know, you can say he's constantly inconsistent, you know, which everybody gives him the hot and cold Harrison or whatever. I don't know who nicknamed him that. It might have been Voldemort, to be fair. I don't actually know, but who isn't hot and cold in a 12th in the league? I've said this before too many times to count as well, and it's doing me head in, but it's true. You don't watch, including me, they don't watch teams every single week and witness how hot and cold some players are. You watch match at day and go, oh, he scored again. And then if you actually look, you go through the past 4 games and they've not done anything. They've not no assist, no goal. But 4 games ago, you seem to remember him scoring a bit of a worldie. Well, that's what Jack Harrison were like. If there was extremely consistent, they'd have never been in the Championship with us, number 1. Number 2, they wouldn't be at the club if there was extremely consistent in the Premier League. They'd go up, wouldn't they? Elanga, who I spoke about today, has had a good season at Notts Forest, and they're talking dummy money for him. He couldn't get in the side at Man United. He goes to Notts Forest, has a brilliant season. Now he's off to Newcastle potentially for 55 million, which is just bonkers money. I agree. I would agree on that. That's just too much for him. Newcastle are a better club than Man United. You know, there's a lot of players that have left Man United. Scott McTominay, you'd be mad if you won't take at the club. And what Scott McTominay bring? He brings what Longstaff brings. Is Scott McTominay better than Longstaff? Don't know. If Longstaff had gone to, is it Napoli, where McTominay's ripping trees up, player at season, maybe McTominay is better. It was at a better team than Longstaff at the time, and it's a big drop off for Longstaff. But you know, he's probably where he's at, and he wants 100% football, doesn't he? Time. He probably doesn't want the competition at his age. I think he's about 28. Longstaff is for the here and now. We're talking about Longstaff again. I've just done it. Is the underlap on the beach next week? Didn't do it, did I, Dr. Curious? I've just got back, mate. I got back late last night. Late last night. I can't remember when I got back. That's terrifying. Greenwood never was decent in my opinion, but I really thought Joffrey would at least be a fairly regular player for us. Doesn't look like it now. Yeah, I agree. Greenwood came with the set piece specialist hype, didn't he? That was an absolute myth. Again, because everybody had seen the highlights of him in the under 21s going, oh, you know, they play games like there's no tomorrow. And then he scored probably about 4 or 5 unbelievable free kicks, probably with dominated play, had all the ball, probably had about 7 free kicks from similar range a game. And he puts a few of them in top bin, which he's capable of. And then he becomes this set piece specialist. But how many chances does he need to get it? Do you know what I mean? So then when he comes on, you go, oh, everybody will literally like screaming for players to go down on edge of box to get Greenwood on free kicks. And, you know, I think there's one clean strike from edge at box that I really remember. And I don't think that was from a free kick, but it were a wonderful goal. Bloke's got a nice strike on him, but many professional footballers do, don't they? Off for his dinner, it's lad. Take it easy, Jovan. See you next week. You better turn up, big lad. So, yeah, let us know. 78 RPM says, I trust Farke, I trust the 49ers. Just to be safe, I have made a Harrison voodoo doll from hair and nail clippings. It is drenched in petrol and have a lighter. But, you know, if he's playing for Everton first game of the season, then you want to use that voodoo doll. But if he's not, please leave that voodoo doll alone. Yes, Justin Thomas, what's good? I am well, sir. Hope you are. BMG says, I think there is a small element of making noises in the market to appease fans and make us appealing to players, but that cannot be the main driver. Well, we've been on about how quiet the 49ers have been and are, and they're not seeming to be workers undercover anymore. I don't know if it's possible when you get to this level of player, you know, when you're looking for, I know Tanaka was brilliant, but when you're in Bundesliga 2 and you're looking for players, who's Tanaka's agent? I'm sure he has one, he's a very good player, but he wasn't the most exciting. Well, he was a brilliant signing. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's not like who's really watching that move come in. You can be a lot quieter. Whereas when you're messing around with Newcastle, who also have, you know, some PR and some money to drag in as much as they can, you're not going to, it's going to be a lot harder to keep quiet in it. And if you're after Diarra and so are Sunderland, then they're going to start making noise out there. But if it was just us after Tanaka and like some shits in second league of France or something, or some bloody low down in France, it wouldn't really make the same noise, would it? So they're like, oh, the 49ers work in silence again. Because, you know, we managed to pick up like Nemechan without much talk. Do you know what I mean? Beal went on forever. Goodmanson, not too bad with the smoke, was it? That was like, you know, a little bit, and then it did actually come off. Jack Harrison obviously slips back in without any... I thought they kept him out of the video as well quite a bit, but then just sort of sneaked him in a bit, because I think they know that pisses the fan base off. So, you know, and it's not right for him to be getting shit, really. But they certainly didn't film like they filmed Byram coming back in and giving it big high five and Bamford making jokes and having laughs, and that filmed Byram, who obviously absolutely bossed the beep test. That bloke that's allegedly made of biscuits hammering the beep test. The Sunderland meltdown is crazy, says Mings 59 in half, mate. It is absolutely bonkers. Richard Todd has Farke spoken out. We need a voice, as the main man Parag has said nothing. We do not need a voice, Richard Todd. I am bang shit said up against it. You don't need to hear nothing from no one, honestly. It makes no odds. They owe us nothing. They have to do the best business that they can for the club. I am not an apologist. I couldn't care less. I want us to win loads of games. I want us to have a good transfer window. But I don't think it matters if Parag or Farke come out and start giving it a big one, and then we still don't bring anybody in. They just look like twats. Or what, you know, how open do you want them to be? And then suddenly when they don't talk, like at the end of last season when everybody were going into fury, the Farke fans, and I'm a Farke fan, but everybody were going into fury saying, why ain't Parag coming out and cementing that Farke's his man? He's obviously going to get rid of him in all this. And it's like, well, because if he just comes out every time somebody has a moan online, it'll never end, will it? We'll always be in this situation where it's like, well, Parag hasn't said out, and it's like, oh, apparently Farke's been out and about top shagger, and it's like, well, Parag hasn't said out. Like, well, why would he? It's none of his business. Do you know what I mean? He's not here to just appease us and like listen to us relentlessly. Bloke's busy. Just get some work done, big lad. Keep cracking on. And then, you know, if he doesn't, we'll all have a whinge and a piss and a moan about it. But up until now, Parag's been pretty decent. And I know everybody do the contracts in your sleep. Again, this is what I'm saying. They go on podcasts to say stuff like that, and then it's used against them for the rest of eternity, innit? So yeah, I'm not for it. They don't need to talk to me whatsoever. They don't owe me anything. Just run the club effectively. Or to the best of your ability. Don't be silly with money. So don't put us in there. Don't over gamble where we end up in a Ridsdale situation, you know, because that did do my head in. Because, you know, we live the dream line really frustrates me. It's like, no, you did. I thought this was, you know, I didn't realise the implications this would have if we didn't make it. We didn't make it and then we collapsed. So I'd much rather have been, you know, not living that dream and then stayed in the Premier League for many, many more years and, you know, tried to live the dream in a different way. You know, much like Liverpool, you know, we were a big club at the time and we still are, but we do need to get some way back towards what we used to be, or whether you like it or not. And the golden oldies don't believe this, but we will not be the force that we are currently in terms of fan base, and it will wash away. It's hard to get the youth to like things in general, and that's not a diss to the youth. It's just a fact. It's hard to get them on board and get them going to games, and it's hard to get them to play games. The Saturday, Sunday leagues have died. They're diabolical. Used to be really competitive leagues, and now they're shite, and no kids want to play. Nobody under 20 wants to play. You go to pre-season training somewhere, and there's about 2 18-year-olds, just no interest in it, and I don't blame them. But, you know, my point is, if you're not on board and you're not dragging fans in, it diminishes. And then, you know, 30-year-olds become 40-year-olds, 40-year-olds become 50-year-olds, 50-year-olds become 60-year-olds. You see where I'm going? It goes on like that. And then, you know, you end up with an old fan base that can't get to games, don't get to games. Nobody goes to games. You know, we're in a brilliant position right now. We need some positivity. Well, that's what we need, Ming. We need to keep positive while ever this is occurring, because we are in a top position. We haven't played a single minute of football, not even in a friendly yet, and we're already in a frenzy. It's fucking crazy. It's embarrassing. Calm down. Chill your beans. And I know everybody in the chat is as chilled as cool as a cucumber. But, you know, which reminds me, we're on 115 people in the room. We've only had 48 likes, guys. So get in and cozy on over to that like button for me. It helps the algorithm and all that stuff, doesn't it? We're trying to make this for the future, aren't we? For the future fan. I'm joking. I kid. BMG says 20 million for Longstaff is silly, in my opinion. 15 maybe. This is what I mean. What's the 5 million about? But yes, he'd be better than McAtee at this stage. We need players for now, not the future at this point. So McAtee, they want 25 million for. So what would you pay for McAtee? I just don't get the 5 million thing. 15 million maybe, but 20 million not. Like if he's a player for now, why not just the 20 million? Why the 5 million? Because really, what happens is you get the 5 million on what then? So what do we spend? Do you know what I mean? It's pointless then, pointless money, because you just go, well, we spent 15, I've got 5 million left. If I had 20 million in my wallet, you either get 4 players for 5 million, and you just gamble on it, 2 players for 10 million, or 1 for 20, don't you? I'm not suggesting you spend all 20 all at once, but 15 just leaves you in a total shitter, because you just go, well, there's 15 mil. And now I've got 5. It's like, well, yeah, you're not even going to get any penny sweets with that. Jack, if they are going for Anton Stack, Hoffenheim want 20 million for him. That says a lot to me. Just pay the money, for fuck's sake. But, you know, Stack, everybody wants him. Who knew he was 2 months ago? Who cared about him? I've watched Longstaff for years. I'm team Longstaff. Longstaff reminds me a little bit of Boyer without the goals. Boyer was my favourite ever player, so leave that at that. I can't compare. I like Longstaff and I want him at the club, but I think I'd buy a shirt and put Longstaff on back. I think I'd need to do that at this point. There's been so many people that are against Longstaff. 20 million, my Longstaff man. It's like, I'll go to 15, but I won't go a penny over. So would you go to 17 and leave you with 3 million? No, I'd call it quits at 15. It's like, well, when 49ers do that, they get shit off everybody. Get Longstaff by any means necessary. Give them 40 mil. Just pay whatever Newcastle want. Ampadu James Rodon all played. Welcome, Scrivs, by the way. Ampadu James Rodon all played in the Premier and did nothing. Was poor. That's why they're at Leeds. So we need better players than that dross we have bought, in my opinion. Fair enough, Scrivs. Stay loose, brother. Stay loose. BMG, the 49ers must have a tight rein on the funds, so paying an extra every penny, every time could add up to 10 million quickly. Plus, it looks like an easy touch. Yeah, they won't get bullied about, but while ever they're thinking on Longstaff, I think they will pull out at some point. But, you know, I'd just go in. We need a few Premier proven players to keep us in the league. We've got the money. Fucking spend it. But not by any means necessary, John Pepper. But I agree. Andy, yes, indeed, I did. I said about 8:30 and I'm early. But I like to do it round, you know, keep it round and about. And I think a few people have said about the 8:30 hype, 8:30 vibe. So I do apologise, but I've got a chicken dinner in that I am, because I'm on the cups of tea tonight, so I'm early. It's the booze that makes me late. But I've got a chicken dinner because I've been out doing a bit for charity match this afternoon. Been bombing about, getting some runs in. No point improving that touch. There's no chance of improving that touch no more. So just get some runs in, because we don't want to be messing about with fitness come next Sunday, do we? Richard Todd, if Parag does deals in his sleep, then he's having a proper nap. Yeah, or he's wide awake. Do you know what I mean? That's the worry. Bloke's not getting enough sleep, is he? Let's stay calm, says Mingy. I mean, he's in a coma, says Arse Ripper. But again, isn't that just basically, you know, I don't want to be rude to anybody that's been in a coma. But that's like a deep sleep, isn't it? So you'd think even then, you know, there'd be deals going on. But maybe you can't connect the dots. It's all just like when he wakes up, they all just start flocking in. And then he realises when he comes out of his coma, it's fucking deadline day, innit? And he ain't got enough time to get it done. It also should be said that transfer these days, and I bet none of us really understand the complexities. Not even Angry Mad Gav. Angry Mad Gav don't even know he doesn't even understand what transfers are. He just turns up to Bowser, doesn't he, and just has a look at screen and goes, "Fucking Tanaka? What kind of a name's Tanaka?" Yes, what's good? Hi, Jack. Good to have you back. Thank you. Good to be back, sir. Smash the like button. I agree. We've got 125 in the room and only 68 likes, guys. Come on, let's get the likes up. Here we go. We've got the Bamford in. The Bamford outers are here. My man John Pepper. Jack, if you saw some pot-bellied Leeds fans wearing Leeds shirts in Create, would it make you sign for Leeds? I'm not sure what you mean. Oh, Crete. I still don't know. Would it make you sign for Leeds? I mean, if they come a calling, I will sign. I don't think they will, but I think them days are done. But if you saw some pot-bellied Leeds fans wearing Leeds shirts in Crete, I didn't go to Crete. I'm not sure if this is about me or not. I don't know what's occurring. I've done my best. Agreed. Rodrigo had a spell over 2 months where he looked great. Generally, it was disappointing overall. No, ain't no doubt about it. Arse Ripper says, plenty of time yet. The recruitment has been good so far. We just have to trust the process. What will be, will be. Yeah, I'm not gonna go anywhere near panic mode. I can't be bothered, as I say. We've not even had a pre-season friendly yet. There's some time to go. Stay chill, calm, relaxed. Just what comes in, comes in. See, I don't know. Everybody's panicking about the easy stuff like Harrison potentially coming back. That's just easy. That's actually decent work from 49. It's just like, I was bringing back in for pre-season. Let's just let Farke have a look at him. If he likes him, it solves a problem. Sam Byram, great backup. If we find another wing back, we'll bring another wing back in, and Byram's not on silly money. And just sit on bench. He's not going to kick up a fuss. Decent player. Again, probably going to play about 50 minutes over the entire season. It was like, fucking Byram. Like he doesn't deserve his announcement. He deserves his announcement as my man Byram. Why wouldn't he? That Voldemort were on about it. I saw a clip at Parade where there were a chant going around saying give Byram his contract type of thing. Voldemort said he looked around in the crowd and saw people saying, I think that's a bit ridiculous. Like, are you at a parade, mate? And when a chant kicks off about giving Byram, who's been really good this season, been really important for us, are you bothered? Are you looking around going, who agrees with me right now? Because I've got to be honest, at that parade, I was not thinking about whether or not Byram gets a contract next year. And maybe that's because you're seeing through other end at needle. But if you are, I don't want to be anywhere near that needle because it's fucking shit to me. It's shit housing. Honestly, it does made him. Byram was mint last year. If Farke thinks if he's mint around place, everybody banged on about fucking Gilavogi getting a new contract last year. Gilavogi in Premier League, he wasn't even good in the Championship. He wasn't even good against Harrogate. Yeah, it was awful in that game. And I'm not going to go at Gilavogi. He had a lovely smile and he was a great player 4 or 5 centuries ago. But, his legs have completely gone. But some people were saying we need him in. Well, Byram is so much more useful than Gilavogi. But I suppose it's because he's called Sam Byram and he's allegedly injury prone when he was available pretty much every minute last year. Ace is the beat test, Silly to me. None of us know all the ins and outs. None of us know any of them. Never mind all of them. Yes, Matty, what's good now then, buddy? If anyone knows a good midfielder, it's this guy. See you Saturday, Jack, mate. Great touch early. Have you on Instagram, dude? Thank you very much, sir. I thought it was Sunday though, innit? Don't panic me now, Matty. You might have gone by now because I'm 20 minutes behind, and I'll be 20 minutes behind responding to you. But I thought it was Sunday that we were training, so I'm beating panic button if it's not, because I'll struggle Saturday. Were you on holiday with the lads or with the other half? With me other half, mate. Holiday with lads comes either at end of year or I think we're going to just go to Benidorm, get lashed to something either in summer or towards end of year. Get slippered up. But for now, I'm not boozing. I'm going to do my best to not drink for this next couple of weeks before this game. I suspect that Newcastle aren't desperate to sell and probably feel like they are in a position to bully us. Not totally unreasonable, but I reckon we might still get him. I agree. I just think they're playing games. I think they're doing the best to get as much money as they can for him because they know, you know, we need a central midfield and they know that the worth of the player. Andy Rowe, Jack, have you voiced any concerns about the slow 49ers business so far, like JT Live has? You watched my videos, Andy. For what it's worth, I like JT, but do I have to follow? Do I have to follow his? So I don't understand. You always have to like pit people against, you know, like as though like. Have you voiced any concerns about the 49ers? Because JT has. Like, well, if JT has, then JT has, hasn't he? I'm not going to voice any concerns. Oh man, you cracked me up. Mighty White says, I don't think it's just about whether Farke got enough pull. We should be able to attract more than Burnley and Sunderland, but at the moment that doesn't seem to be the case. Yes, it does, Mighty White. Honestly, do not worry. Do not worry. Sunderland are paying dummy money for players. Players will go there. We're discussing players that nobody gave a flying fuck about up until 3 months ago, and now because Sunderland are paying 30-odd million for them, you know, we're suggesting that Sunderland have got this huge pull, like Sunderland are a bigger club. I like Sunderland. For what it's worth, I wanted them to come up with us instead of Sheffield. I'm glad they did. I can't say I'm fearful of what Sunderland will bring next year, you know, because I think there's bigger worries on the horizon. Again, that's not a diss to Sunderland. It's just a matter of fact. We've got a long way to go if we're worried about Sunderland and Burnley's pull. I mean, fuck me. I mean, I think Walker's a really good signing for Burnley. I was surprised when I saw that. You know, my man Joe saying he's washed and stuff, and that's fine. I don't think he is washed. I think you've just been promoted. I think 2 years ago he was probably the best right back in the world. You know, whether he can be washed in 2 years is something else to be said. I suppose your legs can go Gilavogi style, but you know, you'd have taken him in, wouldn't you? But they're probably wasting a pretty big bit of the budget on the wages and stuff with him. I don't know the ins and outs of that deal. I don't care. Walker signed for Burnley. I got over it pretty quick. We just got to worry about what we're doing. I couldn't give a rat's ass about what anybody else is doing. 78 RPM says, Nemetchel says it's an opportunity to resurrect his career. Plus, both our centre-backs will see themselves as better than Rodon and Struick. Don't think these boys are day trippers. I agree, sir. Undoubtedly. It's about bringing players in that, you know, so you're not... you got to add to the pie, aren't you? Not because people saying that they come in and straight over Struick, strike, and I'm actually historically not always been. I'm not sure what level Struick, strike goes to really. I think it'll be decent next year for us. Big strong lad, and we're going to be doing a fair bit of defending, aren't we? But I don't think it's a given that he doesn't start the first game of the season, and it's just 100% Beal. If Beal comes in some friendlies and he's absolutely on another level, obviously he comes straight in. And I don't think Farke's going to be messing around in that sense. But we did this a lot when we were last in Premier League, and people saying, "Oh, Mark Rocker's here to play. Why would Mark Rocker be signing if he's not here to play?" Like, well, yeah, they all sign to play, don't they? They're not signing, like you say, to be a day tripper. Not coming to Leeds. You know, as much as I love the city, Mark Rocker don't give a shit about it, does he? Clearly. Off he popped. You know, having done nothing. Ken stunk place out, and then off he goes at first opportunity, and then everybody goes, well, he's decent where he's gone now. Like, who cares? He was shit when he got here. I don't care whether he's been decent elsewhere. So what? It's just, honestly, it's like fans, for some reason as well, like support players. Like, who cares about Mark Rocker? And yet, every time he gets brought up, it's, well, he's doing all right. Where it's like, who cares? What? So what? Do you think he played well for us? McKennie's decent, isn't he? Was McKennie decent when he got here? He was for about 45 minutes when it rim and Adams, and he seemed like he were up for it. Then he were pony, wasn't he, on long throws? Sam Allardyce shouting him over for long throws. So what? do I follow McKennie, or why do we all pretend that it's like, these players have come and gone and like Leeds were the problem, and it's never the player that's the problem. It's always Farke or the 49ers, or when everybody wanted, or the loud portion of fan base wanted Bielsa out, and then Marsh was just god awful. But some people still say that he was all right, and go along with the metrics, because some people do think Marsh was all right. Jesse Marsh was all right. I mean, cuckoo land for me, that. But and then Gracia, Allardyce. It's just, oh my god, we need to remember these days while we're fucking trying to sign some players. And remember, get Longstaff. Richard Roth. Hi, good evening. I'm afraid we will not sign any big players, only mediocre players. Farke can only pull a muscle, not big players. Meslier, Bamford, Harrison will still be at Leeds come start of season. Why does anybody care if Bamford is... If you can say what you want about Meslier, you can do that if you want. Say what you want about Harrison if it's for some reason Harrison's really got a bee in your bonnet because his mum said some dumb shit. But why anybody's so bothered about Bamford it startles me. Just let him see his contract out. Believe me, there'll be a day that Bamford leaves, and when he does, you'll have to blame somebody else. And when you do, let me know who they are, and then I'll rinse and repeat the same conversation. Farke is not good enough for the Premier League and never will be. You are edging your bets, Richard Roth. It's likely that you will be seen to be true because we will have a difficult season next year, and you'll be able to say you always had it right. Now, I don't think that is, one, truthful or two, fair. But, I, for one, am going to support Farke while he's at the club and while we had 100 points in the Championship and played really good football. Slightly boring, not quite to my taste. I like Bielsa-style football or Klopp-style football, or, I like watching Guardiola teams because they're so dominant. We play a similar style of football, but obviously don't have the catalogue of players that Guardiola has. But I don't know what you want. I don't know what you want. I don't care who we sign. If we finish outside the top 10 in the Premier League this season, Farke out unless we win the FA Cup. Hey, I like you, man. But come on. Let's get these likes in. We've got 146 in the room and only 83 likes. Cozy on up to that like button for me, guys. Andrea has pulled out the Creators Cup. He hasn't pulled out the Creators Cup, Andy. That's fake news. He was never sure. He obviously lives in Italy. He was never sure if he was going to make it through, so he hasn't pulled out. That's, again, a mischaracterization. Or it's disinformation. It's fake news. It's fake news. He never actually cemented his role, and he will be watching. And Dan the man, our manager, will be in constant touch with him. Andrea will be watching the game, and I'm sure he'll be commenting on the game. And he wants us to win just as much as the rest of us. He couldn't make it, basically, and I don't blame him. It's going to be a great day, but I don't know if I don't know. Well, are you travelling to it, Andy? You live in Wetherby, don't you, man? Are you travelling to Leeds to come see? Or are you just expecting Andrea to fly in from Italy? Everything reflects life in general. Football's no different. I agree. I think there's a lot of footballers, when they say you play with personality or whatever, you like play with more personality. It's like, well, that is the personality. You play as people. You tend to find in very few cases there's people charging around, flying into disgusting tackles and that. And you think, and then you're like, Jesus Christ, he's a lovely bloke, him, outside of football. But you normally know when they've got a bit of a bite to them or a bit of something about them, don't they? Or I think you do. You can tell by people's character. Very rare, some players can surprise you where, they're decent and you thought they'd be pony. But I think more often than not, I think you've got a pretty good idea for how the player plays, or whether he's, got a engine on him, whether he's good fun or whether he's just very serious, Roy Keane style. Do you know what I mean? The personality reflects the game. BMG says, Richard Roth, I don't care whether we sign big name players. In fact, I'd almost rather not sign players that can keep us up. Most of them will be unspectacular. My man Longstaff. And where have you been? Not babysitting till this fucking time. You know, if you know, you know. Yes, no babysitting. Kev75. I think a few of the established teams, namely Wolves and West Ham, will be dragged into the relegation battle. We certainly do need to pull some fluckers back into the fire, don't we? So we'll see what happens. You never know who will be decent. You know, teams like Notts Forest, who had an excellent season last year. People I can't believe, because everybody's been saying like Man City. I'm not saying Notts Forest to be in the relegation battle, by the way. I'm just saying they will not have the season they had. So that they already dropped down significantly to, you know, anybody between 12th, quite literally, you know, could be even lower. So I think they'll be fine. But I've spoke about it too many times, but as long as you get out of that sort of bottom three, you're so far away from relegation. It's unbelievable. So you just need to get in that next little league. But I think there'll be, people are saying that Man City are back. And I mean, I watched them World Club Cup games, and I didn't think it meant they were back whatsoever, but people were very, very quick to say, oh, Man City are back, but as though it's a bad thing. And as though like certain players that we've signed or certain players that we have won't be able to cope with Haaland. Don't worry about Haaland and Man City. You want them to be elite. You want the four teams, the four traditional standout teams, to be ultra dominant next year and just beat everyone, you know, and us try and pick up a few points off them along the way, but just let them beat absolutely everyone. Because I don't want a competitive league next year. It needs to be from 5th to 17th, just everybody going for it. Do you know what I mean? That's the competitive bit. You want everybody dropping points. You don't want Fulham thinking, Jesus, where, you know, we've had a mint season here, we're potentially pushing for Europe, whatever. You want teams just to be all like, the top 7 or 8 teams, you just want to beat everybody to beat them. And then we'll just get in our own little fight between 11th and 15th. And then once you're in that little bit, once you're in that pocket, there's no going back, we'll be fine. Matt Leeds, Mesley got numbers in the Premier League. It took us many matches to realise he was a twig. Richard Roth, we will see if he struggles in the first 6 games, if he's still there. Yes, we will. That's my point. Jason Darling, if the 49ers were serious about us staying in the Prem, then we need to show us at the moment. We've signed okay players. We need players that the league and teams will take note. You don't need to worry about whether the league takes notes on us or other teams take notes. I'll leave that up to Leeds fans to do that with Sunderland and Burnley. But right now, for me, I just want to focus on what we're doing. I don't really care whether anybody's taking notes, thinking, "Whoa, bloody hell!" Like I just don't give a shit. I just can't wait to get some football, to watch some Leeds United football again, and then I can actually try and have a reasonable conversation with people about what's actually occurring at the football club, football-wise, because up to now it's just hearsay and wolf talk and hysteria, and we've not played a single minute. AO says, as much as I'm not sold on Farke, it's insane to suggest we'll be relegated this year or any year the 49ers are our owners. It happening. Love to hear it, mate. Love to hear it. I need Jack on Jack violence, please. I'm not sure what that means, Sly 2.0, but we do as best to please. It's highlight heaven out there. It certainly is in the on the YouTube world. It's like some players that you sign, it's like, look at this baller. I don't get that. Richard Ross says we need to sign creative players, not sign defenders. We need new goalkeeper, playmaker, and a striker. So we need to sign creative players, not defenders. And then we need a new goalkeeper. Like that. I would say goalkeepers aren't particularly creative. Playmaker and a striker. But say what you see, Richard. We need to sign creative players. I think we should sign players. Do you remember this one? That can shoot from the edge of the box. But not only shoot, score from the edge of the box. If we can sign some players that can shoot and score from the edge of the box, I'd do that. But don't let it just stop there. Let's sign players that can like beat a man, shoot and score from the edge of the box, or beat a man, lay it off to somebody who can shoot and score from the edge of the box. We need to sign creative players. It's honestly, man. Do you think? What boils my piss is fans wanting our manager to fail. He's Leeds, wish him well, as that is good for the club. Exactly, dude. If my man Farke, because Farke's not my man, I like Farke, but he's not my man. But if he does well, Leeds succeed, so he becomes my man by definition, because all I care about is Leeds succeeding. So if Leeds succeed, Farke does a really good job. If Farke does a really good job, Leeds succeed. If Farke's shit 10 games in, Leeds are shit. So it's more important to me for Leeds to be decent. There seems to be a kind of tipping point where players suddenly catapult from being very good to suddenly being sold for 80 million, like Pedro, Concedo. Yeah, I think you can build your worth up really pretty quick in the current wild west of football, can't you? Daniel Farke doing nothing wrong. Let him do his job, for fuck's sake. Love it, John Pepper. Love it. Bournemouth was the Greenwood goal. Left peg too. It was a delish, wasn't it? Cut back. It wasn't a free kick, were it? I feel like it was from around the edge of the box, but I think it was just around. It got us back in game, that, I think, didn't it? Watch a highlight reel, then comment, buying for any money. What a baller. 100%. Matt Leeds, first game versus Everton, 89th minute. Harrison cross, Bamford header, 1-0. Get up, Matt Leeds. Love it. Did we expect Jack to do a live on the beach? He's all wind and piss when Stella's involved. See, it's just rough, isn't it, Andy? It's just rough. But yeah, I thought about it, and then I thought, I was just going to go on holiday. Yes, yeah. Any news on Bamford going? Not a chance of getting a start this season. Don't worry about it, Mark Hemingway. Minx, easy teaser. Tezza, UK, what's good, brother? I went for acupuncture. Didn't do me any good. When I got home, my voodoo doll was dead. It's a bad one, that, Ming. We'll take it there. We will bring in another winger better than Harrison. It could still be Solomon late in the window. If not, it will be someone else with an end product. Harrison does have end product, though. 78 RPM, he really does. Just whether or not you like it or not, but jokes aside. Solomon's dropping down the pecking order like a stone, isn't he, at Tottenham? So, whether or not he's in, there were some talks that weird-looking fella, Franks, whatever he's called, I can't remember his name, top of my head now, but that he was wanting to look at him. But they'll be shit next year, Tottenham, and he'll be shit as well, and then we can all shut up about that weirdo. It looks like something. He's a nice enough bloke, and what's he called? I can't remember his fucking name now. Frank, I can't remember his name. Getting warm, getting hungry. It's probably exponentially, great word at BMG, harder to get players in the Prem, so I agree that it's probably hard to stay under the radar. By the way, we just signed Mbappe. Yeah, under the radar, brought him in. He's left PSG, and PSG are ripping it up. So maybe it was Mbappe's fault. Maybe it's the player. But yeah, on Solomon, we might get him late in window. It might just be one of them things that we're sort of holding out to see what Tottenham are doing as well, because they're, already starting to replace him. They might be in a uncompromised position themselves where they need to get rid. So it might not be. I just don't know whether Solomon wants to come back, if I'm brutally honest. I don't know why that is. That's just a hunch. I don't know a bloke. But I just get the impression there was a lot of wazzies and hazzies. I know hazzies isn't a word. I'm not even sure wazzies he's either. I hope Farke does the unimaginable and silences the critics, myself included, by winning the Premier League this season, lol. He's going for it, mate. He's going for it. I can't see any improvement from the team we finished the season with, apart from numbers. Not first 11 we start. Can't see any improvement from the team we finished season with, apart from numbers. Not first 11. Well, we've got a left back, haven't we? And everybody's banging on about Beal. So, I need to make sure that I raise my concerns about the speed that the 49ers are working at, because JT did. So it'd be remiss of me not to go along with anything that JT says. That was a joke for anybody that's just tuned in about some. Never mind. I've not had my mind blown, but everybody seemed to be up for Gus Hamer when that was the first name that was spoke about, and I was like, please don't do Gus Hamer first. Like, Gus Hamer can come later on down the road, but please don't do him first. If I strike, so I'm not I'm not blown away, no, but I just want to watch some football. I want to watch Leeds United. I want to have a look at these players properly in my club, in my side, not my club and my side, our club and our side. And really have a look and then think, right, are we improved? Do we look stronger? I'll know more when I actually see the players play. If our strike force was Muniz, Perot, Nemecha and Bamford, I don't see an issue with that. Scribsy straight in on Bamford. If you'd have put... Is just Bamford on bench? I don't understand what the fucking problem is with that, but I'm trying not to worry about it too much. I joined Wacko the other day, and it's a bit crazy. They had a hilarious convo going about Phallic 11, Cock, Willie, etc. Someone put a guy whose first name is Adam. I like it. I'm into it. Level up your live streams. Just had an email. We've got 148 in room and 99 likes, guys. If we could get it to 100, we'd be in a pretty good space. Shout out to each and every which one of you that does like and subscribe. Honestly, tell a friend. Much appreciated. I'm going to try and go live more often, I think. I'm going to try and do my ship vids a bit earlier on in day and then come on about 8, half 8. A few more nights a week. But obviously I need some other names and Underlap, or people start having a go at me. The Underlap will always be the Underlap, as we well know, as I live and breathe. If we don't get any players out, then we are going to have a squad of 30. I think players will begin to move. I don't think there's any doubt about that, just the youngsters, Greenwood, Geldart, Giabi. Be interested to see what they do with Gray, whether or not he gets loaned out or whether, because you probably not, I can't imagine he's going to get any minutes. Joseph, I think, will get moved on. So there will be outgoings, Wobber. So Bamford is not liked, but the biggest issue is staying fit. Maybe he's just been unlucky because it's never the same injury. It'll be handy if he's fit. He did okay last time. It'll be handy if he's fit. Of that, there's no doubt. I know fitness is his main issue. But Farke, hopefully, isn't going to be in a position where we're going to be reliant on him. That's my only point. You can get sort of a few games out of him just when he's needed. He's a big lad up top. Yeah. Betting. Hi, Jack. Were you in Torremolinos a few days ago? I was wearing my Smiley Leeds top and I thought it looked like you who gave me the Leeds. Yes, indeed, I was, dude. But I bumped into a few. But obviously, I'm not saying that they watched the videos. So I'm not sure. So was you... I bumped into 2, I think, in the centre of Torremolinos. And then I bumped into, I think, you. Because I think I just caught you off guard. You were like getting into beer garden. In like an Irish bar near that Bernardino or whatever it's called, where that harbour is, and I felt like when you commented earlier, I felt that'll be you. But I also saw a couple of lads like actually in the centre of Torremolinos. So do let me know which. But yeah, because the guy that I saw in the centre of Torremolinos, I feel like he thought I was shouting at him initially because I was like, lose. And I thought it sounded like, it doesn't actually sound like Leeds. Obviously, when you're in foreign country, it just sounds like I'm just like giving you some jip. But yeah, I think if I'm right in thinking it was quite early on in the week, so maybe like Friday. And yeah, I wore it was me anyway, whichever one we saw. Sunderland fan here, Yazzie. I'm sure you've gone by now because this comment's from half an hour ago. Sunderland fan here. I like your channel, mate, and hope Leeds and Sunderland both stay up and we can watch Man U suck again and get relegated. Love it, Yazzie. That'd be a wonderful thing to witness. Unfortunately, I think Man United will be all right this season. I'd kill to get Mitrovic, says BMG. I'm not bothered about Mitrovic. I'd have taken Mitrovic a couple of years ago, to be fair. I'm a Farke fan, but we're in the results business, fella. I fully agree, Neil. I fully agree. I think Bamford would be like a new signing, says Michael Keithley. We've hit 114 likes, you West Coast warlords. We've got 160 watching, so we can get it up. I've not looked down, so I thought we'd see if we're at 100, and we've hit 114, so I appreciate every which one of you, as you well know. Whoever said we don't need big name players, I agree. Let's sign unknown players. We are hungry, and who will prove themselves as quality players for us. Agreed. If there's a big, obviously, if a big dummy name comes in, you have to just bite people's hands off, don't you? But Longstaff. BMG's having absolutely nothing towards a Sunderland fan that watches the channel, so I can't go along with that, BMG. Even though you say you're just kidding, ultimately, you can't help but sort of, if worst case scenario, Burnley and Sunderland are cannon fodder, and then we're hanging around the 17th, we don't want any more worries. But if it could be in a situation where Sunderland, just for the sake of Yazzie, who watches the channel, if it could be the case where, we're both safe, then I want that as well. But I think it's going to be a long, old, tough season for us all in it. If we don't move players on, we could be struggling with PSR. Bullshit. It's disgusting, but yes, indeed. Yes, Tom, what's good, brother? Legendary MVG, handing out their memberships like it's Santa Claus. It's Christmas time. My guy, thank you, Legendary MVG. Sorry, dude. Yes, I was half an hour. I said I didn't realize how people actually hang on my word. Because, I thought I just said about half 8. I was just sort of making it up. And then, to be fair, it's been popping since half 8. So we've got 153 in room. So maybe I did start too early. But, nobody do it how we does it. We know this. Yes, Rizel, what's good, brother? Ming, been a member for 9 months. Love it, mate. Thank you very much. I proper appreciate you. Andy Rose says, can you believe some fans are jizzing over Bamford's biceps? The easy muscle to build. Hey up, crew, says MVG. What's good, brother? MVG getting the love he deserves. Hoffenheim want 20 million euros. It never stops, mate. They all want the world, don't they? But what can you really get for 20 million anymore? So Longstaff is tried and tested in the Premier League. Love it, mate. Certainly is. I am Team Longstaff. We should shake Bamford's hand, thank him for his service and let him go for me. I can't keep doing it. Boy, I like to talk. Is that a tackle or like a talk, as in like a drag? Love Boy, absolutely. My absolute favourite player ever. Including Gruev. I want Statch, Longstaff, plus what we've got, including Gruev. I'd keep Gruev. I just can't see. Probably, Gruev doesn't even get mentioned in all of this. And people just want him out. But he's probably on like decent wage, like cheap wage. He might be half decent. He can come on and do a bit of a job for us. We need players that aren't going to kick a stink out as well. We don't. This idea that you just get new players in and they're always better. I don't know. Gruev's not the best centre midfielder in the world, is he, by any stretch of imagination? But I don't really care for like booting the lad out. Pot noodle don't count as your chicken din dins. Well, if it were up to me, it'd be a pot noodle, mate. But I'm not mum making it, so it will be. Believe me, rest assured, it'll be a chicken dinner. I can't wait for Bamford contract to end so we can finally get rid of him. It's been a joke and an injury nightmare. It's his controversial comment of the day. AO does like a controversial comment of the day. The problem is everybody goes along with it and says it ain't controversial. So I just don't know why it's so relentlessly said. what people aren't talking about is Brentford losing players, Forest losing players. We need players, as do Sunderland and Burnley. Palace need to replace players. We may all be shopping in the same market. Well, that is what we are doing, isn't it, man? That's what we're saying at the start of stream. It's we are all in the same transfer market, all in the same bucket. All these same players are all sort of available at one side and looking for moves with agents and stuff. Goodmanson said he saw some Leeds fans in Crete and signed a deal, as he said it was assigned just for update, but weird question nonetheless. Understood now, I now get it. Thank you, Donny Keys. Thank you, Ming, for tuning in. The outs for me should be Joffrey, sadly, Greenwood, Mez, Harrison, possibly Bamford, Joseph on loan. I'd get rid of Joseph. If we're going to get rid of all, if we're up for getting rid of Harrison, who is like, whatever you think of him, a Premier League player, then why are we on about? Why are we still looking after Joseph? Why do we look after players that have done fuck all? But, you know, I don't know. Yeah, to be fair, I've not watched his interview. Byram's a legend. I've not watched his interview, Andy, because I've genuinely just got back. So I'm like, I couldn't be asked catching up on it all. We've not really got anyone we can sell for big money. Nonto could have been, but doubted we get more than about 15 million for him now. Yeah, I'd have loved Gilavogi to have scored the goal that won us the league, though, says PMG. Well, then it would have sent the Gilavogi fans into overdrive, wouldn't it? Both Peru and Bamford look like they've come back to prove a point. Ina in the wings laughing. Not sure at what, because I'm well behind, but we were well behind you last season, this Sunderland fan. But now, a couple more usual struggle. Hope not would like yous to survive after us. Thank you very much. I quite like Sunderland, genuinely. Because they seem to watch the channel as well. No, I'm only messing, but we'll be all right. We should do a player plus 20 million exchange deal for Longstaff and send Bamford to Newcastle. Like Newcastle want Bamford, but what's funny about that, AO, is that's back in day in it on Champ Manager where you'd go ballistic with you'd be just exchanging or just sticking all the like 9 players in and then bidding like 10 million for Henry and hoping that they'd be like, why wouldn't you accept that? The deal's worth like 400 million. Because they're all like 12-year-old kids from, you know. Yes, Mr. Whitesnake, what's good? Yes, he is, Jay. Yes, indeed. He has about 9 names on here. The Metcha could be a bit part player, but there's a chance that he could really be good. I think he'd be decent. Well, again, as long as we're not overly reliant on him. He's obviously been terribly injury prone, but are Burnley keeping their keeper? Have Sheffield United sold their keeper yet? It was just Joe's Championship keeper. Well, he wasn't just the Championship keeper. He was the Championship Player of the Year, wasn't he? Trafford. That's gone quiet, I believe. It's a long time ago, but Yeboah was not very well known when he got here and did okay. Did okay? You might man Yeboah. There might be a relative unknown out there. Can be very effective, even if he's not a Yeboah. Yeboah's a West Coast warlord. McKenny. I don't know what that's in reference to. Don't know what that's in reference to. Don't know what that's in reference to. Yes, Martin Bazant. Hey up, Jack, multi-screening you and the mighty Trin. Should have been looking for a new manager. Nice one, Sam John. Bet Bamford gets 5+ goals next season. Love it, Tommy boy. Bamford is a good squad player. Love it, Tommy boy. Get up, my lad. No emotional attachments for me, well apart from Dan and Paddy. Jack, you're well out of order voicing your view on Big Sam, who only had 4 games. Well, what did I say about Big Sam that was so offensive? I don't know that's about. I've lost track. I think we will be okay, but we got to the wire. but we'll go to the wire. Yeah, it could do, man. There's obviously a strong chance. Easy get 30 million for Tanaka, which is probably true. It depends how he does in Premier League, though. It might be worth holding on to him. Well, no, it's definitely worth holding on to him. But if we hold on to him for a year and he absolutely rips it up, it'd be worth a lot more than that, won't it? So it just depends where we're at. Stephen Bates says, back the team. Some people are always looking for a scapegoat. Whoever steps over the white line in a match day shirt should be backed. I agree, dude. 100%. Scriv says, Bamford's a cripple sentiment for players. Piss me off. It's no sentiment here, mate. I just think he's decent. Getting well soiled for the start of the season. I certainly am as well, Neil. Can't help it, mate. Soiling everywhere. People don't like it. Bamford is our best striker still. Tell me when we get a 9 that presses, holds up the ball in open space like he does. Peru can finish, but besides that, he goes to the game. I think Peru's obviously... But I don't know if I can go down. I love your backing of Bamford, though, Matt. I really do. And, if he were fit, he's extremely useful. It just obviously angers people. Sorted, Ripper, take it easy. He's probably gone by now, but good day from us, says Luke. Yes, we're going global, baby. It's July 11th. We have time, patience, and build from the back. Agreed, brother, and that's where we're at the moment. Mr. Whitesnake says, I think we finish the Prem 10th. Why, I hear you ask? We are Leeds United. That's why. That'll do me, mate. That's a good enough reason for me to know. Thomas Frank, that's what his name was. I lost all respect for Bamford when we lost 4-1 or 4-0 to a Premier League team this year. We got relegated, and Bamford was smiling about a Cheshire Cat. Post-match interview. Sorry, Jack, I maybe misquoted the Andrea message. Please forgive me. Joe Blackburn mentioned it on a live. Are you trying to pit me against Joe Blackburn now? That was a joke. Get DCL and Wilson both on a free. No, I'd take Wilson. For some reason I'm not into Calvert-Lewin. And it's just a pointless take on my behalf. But Martin Bazant says, what would it take for the Farke haters to give him credit? If we make an unbelievable signing, will it be of Farke's pull as a coach? Exactly, dude. They're not going to go along with it regardless. They just don't like him, which is fine to some extent. But he's either bringing in the players or he's not, is he? So, we managed to pull Tanaka in, didn't we? And Ramazani, who everybody says is the best player ever, and it's gone quiet about at the moment, but was that Farke pulling him in or the 49ers pulling him in? So does the manager have pull or doesn't he have pull? Which ironically is, I understand the title of the underlap today, but we don't do clickbait around here, don't we? So the lap from Ipswich suddenly became a £50 million man. They do exist. That's what I'm saying. You only need a decent season. Dor Turgeman. Do you remember? I can't believe I can't remember his name either. The fellow that we signed up top, Kevin Augustine. Do you remember his highlights? Because he is the man. I sometimes wonder if Trafford is human, says BMG. Get up, Crag. I love it. I wonder whether he's human. I really do. I appreciate you, JLUFC. You know this. Jack Bamford is wham. It's a good band. He's worked his bollocks off. I still think he's our best striker. For me, he starts at this point in the 9. Oh, yes, Paul Brunt. What's good? Leeds. Yes, John Pepper. Jack, we should have signed a proven top manager. Shame on us, says Lee Crisp. In Farke, we trust. With Farke in charge in the Premier League, sadly, I fear we are doomed. It's too much, man. It's too much, my friend. Do you think more players will come in this week? There's talks of Somerville coming back, Stephen Lowe. I've not seen that one. I mean, I saw a bit of an article, I think, while I were away about Somerville. I can't imagine that being the case, to be honest. But, I mean, what are your thoughts on that, then? Just think someone in the chat is sitting in their chair at home watching his butt naked and dribbling. I'm presuming that's you, Mr. Whitesnake. I'm hoping it is anyway. MVG. Tintin, what a man. If we're going to improve the stadium, we need a squad to keep us in the Premiership for years to come. Yes, my guy, yes. That was near my hotel, near the Tent Hotel. That's where we were staying. Nice to kind of meet you. Yes, most of the fan bases are welcome here unless they are Man United supporters. They're welcoming. I actually know a Man United fan, and he's all right. Like a creator. But to be fair, he's not been in touch with me since we went down. So maybe he's a bit of a dickhead. He's all right. Soft as punch. Like they all are. Can quite possibly add Peru on the list that we need to improve as well. I just thought, honestly. Well, we're a winger down at the moment, so I think he play it just by... Yes, I think he would get more time. Love a bit of breast, mate. I probably prefer a thigh. Buttock. A treat to catch you over here in the US. Keep up the good work. Yes, Chris Fox. We've got global, baby! Ringing me mum after this. We've had one from Oz. We've had one from America. It don't stop. We need physicality and legs in centre midfield. Recruitment team need to be busy this week. We certainly do, big lad. We need monsters in there. Horrible, horrible monsters. Would Leeds win the championship with this team? Well, have we? Would you not say we'd improve the team? So we haven't lost anybody. So yes, convincingly yet again. Mingy handing that membership out like he's Santa Claus. Appreciate you, my man. Right, guys, I'm absolutely starving. So let's start the shout outs. Sam John, you get the first one because Farke couldn't pull skin off a rice pudding. You're mad if you're eating rice pudding anyway because they're rancid. So, but yeah, shout out to Legendary MVG for handing out 10 memberships, which is absolutely nuts to me. It's absolutely insane in the membrane. Shout out to Ming for being a member for 9 months and handing out a membership. You two are like Santa Claus. You're making it rain. Shout out to Mr. Whitesnake, Legendary MVG. Shout out to Ina, Gavin Link, who wants long staff, which will do me. Shout out to Mingy. Where is it? MVG, John LUFC, Garside, Luke, Big Al. We need Tubby Brewster, Kickhead Smoke. 78 RPM. Richard Todd, my name is AO. JLUFC. BMG, Jamie Lowe, Steve Chilton, Andy Rowe, also known as Roger Slicker, Mr. Whitesnake, Ina, my man, appreciate you, man. Appreciate each and every which one of you. Please smash a like, guys. Thank you for the underlap chat. Let's hope we get another 3 or 4 signings before the transfer window closes. Take care and stay safe. I second that, boys. If we can smash a like, I'd proper appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel and all that stuff that you men are bang on about. And I do actively talk about it a little bit more because the channel has gone better ever since I've banged on about it a bit more. So shout out to each and every which one of you. Honestly, I appreciate it. This one's been a storm. If I wasn't having a chicken dinner, what was meant to be 20 minutes ago, I would carry on. Nobody do it how he does it. Take it easy, everybody. In a bit. Bye.
I don't wanna play no games. No, I don't wanna play no games. No, I don't wanna hear your promises. You do you and I'll do me. That's just the way it is.
Boom.